Well, it's supposed to be Go Home on Time Day today, but a new report tracking 8,000 workers shows more full-timers are doing extra unpaid work, and 1 in 4 of us is clocking up more than 50 hours a week at work. So what happened to the standard working week? Here's Dr. John Buchannan, the Director of the Workplace Research Centre at Sydney University.
Two answers to that question. As a matter of practice, yes, Australia has one of the most diverse ranges of working time in the world. We've got around a third of our workforce working part-time, around a third of it working more than 40 hours a week, and then there's around a third working 35 to 40 hours. But the second answer to the question is that many people still aspire, though, to standard working time. So amongst our part-time population, you've got around 25% of them who want longer hours, and amongst those who are working long hours, they want to bring their hours back down. So yes, as a matter of practice, it's definitely gone, but in aspiration, there's still interest in standard time.
But is it getting harder and harder to work a standard week in an age of internet and mobile phones, particularly when workers are expected to be contactable after hours?
Yes, it is harder now, but it's not technology that's driving the change. The really big change has been the way in which work is defined. In the 19th century and early 20th centuries, it was defined by time. You were employed to work a certain number of hours a day. When you finished those hours, you went home. For the last 30 or 40 years, more and more work has been defined as task-based, and people work to get the task done. So if you're a teacher or a nurse, you work to look after the kids well with their education or look after the patients. If there aren't enough staff, you work longer hours, and it's this is where we're starting to get the big increase in working time in Australia.
It's Go Home on Time Day. Clearly a good move for workers, but are there benefits for employers too?
Absolutely. The countries with the highest rates of productivity growth, we're talking about countries like Norway, countries like Germany, have very strong working time standards. This cuts the simple option off for employers to simply work their current workforce harder and often not paying them for it. When employers have the easy option, productivity rate drops. If, however, there are good working time standards, it makes employers think a bit more creatively, and we all benefit as a result.
Dr. John Buchannan, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show.